Victor Wembanyama started the season off on another level, averaging 30 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, and 5 blocks as the San Antonio Spurs went 5-0. However, despite playing 2 below-average defenses, Victor Wembanyama was completely shut down. Against the bottom 10 defense in the Phoenix Suns, he put up just 9 points on 6 turnovers. Then against the Lakers, he put up 19 points, 5 turnovers on 5 of 4 of shooting from the field, and fouled out. But this isn't just Wemby having a bad stretch, instead it's some elite defense that I am calling the Wemby Rules. Much like the Jordan Rules of the late 80s, guarding Victor Wembanyama requires a specific set of principles in hope of slowing him down, and ever since the Phoenix game, Victor Wembanyama has looked vulnerable. So what are the Wemby Rules? Well, instead of putting the tallest player on Wemby, put a stronger player on him that will bully him and keep Wemby away from the paint. Try to keep your center near the hoop to help rotate over, and having a small but strong player on Wemby will also help him fatigue quicker than on a tall player, or it'll force him to make a move and then meet a taller player at the rim. The next thing that we see is to double Wemby on the touch. This is coming from even one pass away and having one player shade on the inside with another player on the outside to prevent a post drive. As we will see, teams will double Wemby even if it gives up a wide open corner 3. The next step is to deny Wemby at all costs. This could be picking him up from half court, preventing sagging off in the corner, or even giving up access to the lane to prevent Wemby from touching the ball. Make the game a 4-on-4. The next step we see is to sag off other players when possible. The Spurs overall are not that great of a shooting team. Stephon Castle and Jeremy Sohan are both sub 30% shooters, and Julian Champagnie is shooting just 32% from 3 on the year. And the goals of this style of defense, that's to keep Wemby away from the ball, or to force it out of his hands if he does get the ball. This requires him to make more difficult passes, and bonus points if you can generate offensive fouls or turnovers. Through these rules, Victor Wembanyama so far has been shut down, and he looks completely different from the start of the season. While I know that Wemby and the Spurs will bounce back, the Suns and Lakers may have just given us the blueprint on how to shut down one of the most unique players in NBA history. Let's dive into the film. Starting off against the Suns, notice how multiple players converge on Wemby, requiring Castle to go cross court. And on this play, we see Ryan Dunn sag all the way down to defend Wemby from behind, and Mark Williams just pins him against the backboard. On this possession, notice how Royce O'Neal is matched up with Wemby and Mark Williams is on the opposite block. This gets Phoenix the matchup they like, where they have help defense, and it actually results in an offensive foul. Devin Booker does a great job in getting down low and using his strength to keep Wemby away, and then all 5 Suns players crash the boards. Part of the Jordan rules were to let other players score, and that counts for Wemby as well. On this play, Devin Booker is going to be the one doubling Wemby, Colin Gillespie defends the cut, and then Oso Ighodaro also defends one pass away. This leads to a bad pass from Wemby, and it is a perfect double team and team defense. Right here, we're going to see Wemby body Oso Ighodaro, but then Allen is also helping out one pass away, and Wemby is not going to be the one beating you. Oso is in his face to prevent any form of a shot, and then Phoenix forms a wall, with Grayson Allen being just quick enough in the corner to contest the 3. Devin Booker is lined up on Wemby, and with this mismatch, Phoenix converges on them. They give up the occasional corner 3, albeit Jordan Goodwin didn't really have to help out right here. We see a similar play from earlier with a post entry, this time on the smaller Jordan Goodwin. Phoenix doubles, but also guards the lane, and this time Wemby goes for a shot, and it just rims out. On this offensive foul, Wemby might actually be too tall, as this is the second time he's gonna hit somebody in the face and force a turnover and receive a foul. Here, Ryan Dunn is the one fronting Wemby, and Devin Vassell isn't able to make the pass, but even if he did, there is still help on the baseline. Again with Dunn, we see a double team, his strength is forcing him to fade, and then Royce O'Neal is forcing Wemby to go baseline. This play is good team defense combined with bad spacing on the Spurs. Royce O'Neal stays between Wemby and the hoop while being in front of him on the baseline. As Royce rotates over to help out, Devin Booker then gets in the way. This not only locks up Wemby, but it makes it difficult to get a pass to the corner. This situation is a little bit more of a one-on-one, but here we can see Royce O'Neal's strength plus him having his hands up is enough to throw Wemby off, and then Mark Williams comes in to help crash the boards. Last play for this game, Wemby receives a screen to get open, Ryan Dunn chases over the screen and leads him into the big man Mark Williams, and that shot just doesn't go in. Against the Lakers now, we see Marcus Smart getting down low with Ayton one pass away, and then LA will concede that sort of shot. Jake LaRavia is matched up against Wemby. LaRavia lets him move in right to where Rui is, and that's a great contest, but Victor Wembanyama is still Victor Wembanyama. And on this play, we see how the Lakers will let anybody beat them as Rui gives up the corner three as both he and Ayton denied Victor. This is another play just showing how much they're denying Victor as Rui isn't even looking at the ball. Trying to get Wemby going in the pick and roll, and he takes the deep three, and that's something that LA will let happen every single play. This pick and fade leads to another 3-point opportunity. I'd rather Wemby shoot the ball right away as Jackson Hayes is able to play great perimeter defense knowing that he has help right behind him. Out of the pick and roll, Wemby absolutely bodies Bronny and makes the shot, but still Jake LaRavia is able to get a hand in his face since he was ready to help. Smaller player matched up on Wemby here. Wemby has no issues driving by him, but then he runs right into Rui Hachimura at the rim for a miss. This is a good inbound play, but Wemby's aggressiveness gets matched by Marcus Smart ability to take a charge. Again, out of the pick and roll, Luka does a great job picking him up, the defense crashes, and Wemby just makes the right read. Again, this is something you're fine giving up as the defense. On this play, we see the wall form with Luka on his right and Smart on the left. A bad closeout by Luka gives up a foul, but this is still great team defense just up until that moment. Wemby on the pick and roll, Luka's right in his face, and Rui comes over to help, and that is a great contest. Face-up game here against Dalton Knecht, and Knecht knows that he doesn't have to guard the hoop since Jackson Hayes can leave Jeremy Sohan open. The Lakers effectively make a box surrounding Wemby, forcing him to shoot it, and that's a shot we know he can make at times. On this play, Luka again is in Wemby's face. He does a great job staying in front of him, and he leads him right into Jackson Hayes. And then this pressure from Dalton Knecht actually forces Wemby to lose the handle, and the Spurs have to go elsewhere. Here we see horns with Wemby in the corner, and despite the man driving in, Rui absolutely refuses to leave Wemby open. On this play, Marcus Smart is on Wemby with Hayes doubling from the other side, and that's another offensive foul. More denial here as LaRavia just stays attached to Wemby. He leaves his big man on an island, and Ayton of DeAndre just makes a huge play in the clutch. This right here is fantastic help defense from Ayton coming over to contest, and then Rui helps take away other passing lanes. On this play, we see great denial from Luka. Smart goes over to help, tries to draw a charge, and that forces Victor Wembanyama to fade. He makes a great read, but the Lakers just overall had the better defense this play. Rui makes Wemby work and get in the ball, but Wemby can't go baseline because Ayton of DeAndre is there, and Wemby just makes a terrible decision. Up 1 point with 2 minutes left, the Lakers are still doubling, only one pass away, literally showing that they will let anybody but Wemby beat them. And then on the last play of the game, Wemby gets past Ayton, Rui does a great job, and that is Wemby's third offensive foul, and he is fouled out of the game. Like I said, I don't expect this stretch of games to define the entire year for Wemby. If anything, it shows how talented he is, given that defenses have to completely sell out to stop a third-year player. However, both Phoenix and LA are below average defenses, and neither of these teams have a player who can single-handedly stop Wemby. Yet they did. And in doing so, they may have given the rest of the league a blueprint on how to slow him down. But just like Michael Jordan in the late 80s, defenses adapted and slowed him down, but then Jordan bulked up. The Bulls mastered the triangle, they bettered their ball movement, and the rest, of course, is history. While these Wemby rules may negate one of the best players in the league, I don't expect this is something that's going to work forever. That is it for this film review. If you liked the video, you know what to do, and I will catch you all next time.